Welcome to Meet the Author, where you can join in on insightful conversations with best-selling and award-winning indie published authors. Your hosts today are Rob and Joan, who themselves are indie published authors, book publicists, and paranormal investigators with Tampa Bay Spirits, based in Tampa Bay, Florida. Thanks for dropping by. And now, on with the show.
Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Joan. Welcome to the show. This is a pre-recorded show because our guest today is from Ireland, and the time just doesn't work out for her to be up in the middle of the night to be on our 7 o'clock show. But it's going to be a wonderful show. I can assure you of that. We're really excited to have her. I've already talked your ear off about Ireland because you may have noticed I'm a little bit Irish. And so are you.
Just a wee bit.
So it's exciting for us.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to make comments. We're going to try to monitor this on the Wednesday night that it airs, but we may not be in town or have the access to do that. But we're going to try to be there to help monitor the comments and go ahead and enter the book giveaway that we'll have after the commercial. But I'm sure you'll find this really interesting. Before we bring her in, want to remind everybody about Episode Rewind every Saturday night at 5:30 p.m. right here on wherever you're watching right now. You can watch it. It's going to be streaming all the past episodes, so I'm not sure where we'll be at the time, but make sure you feel free to drop by and visit.
Yeah, we often monitor that too, so
we do.
You can chat with us.
And you can leave messages and stuff, and enter the book giveaway like months late, but see what goes on there. Anyway, also we want to remind everybody about the Rochester, New York Winter Parafest. It's March 25th to the 27th if you're in that part of the world. Fundraiser for Veterans Outreach, and go to rochesterparafest.org for more information. Should be a good time for all.
It's all things paranormal.
All things paranormal, basically, yeah. Okay, so without much ado, let's introduce from Kilkenny, Ireland. Angela Byrne.
Hello.
Hello, Angela.
Lovely to meet you.
It's so good to have you here. We're really and truly excited.
Thank
How
you.
are you today?
I'm very good. I'm absolutely great. So delighted to be on your show, on your podcast.
We're delighted to have you.
Thank you very much.
You hope what, Angela?
I hope that I will, give all the information other authors would like and go forward from there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. If you want, should we give all her information out first thing?
Might as well, right?
Might as well. So
Okay.
those of you that would like to get in touch with Angela, and I'm sure many of you will want to, her website is www.angelabyrneauthor.com. For those of you that are listening, pay attention. That is ANGELABYRNEAUTHOR. Okay, because that's the way they spell Byrne in Ireland, just so you know.
Yes.
I know that. And her Facebook page is Angela, pardon me?
Do you want me to read that one?
Go ahead.
Okay, Angela-Byrne-189-255-958-245-608. That's not a phone number. That is a Facebook page.
All right. Now, the website for her B&B. Did we mention that Angela and her husband own and run a B&B in Kilkenny?
Not yet.
They do. And this is the website, B&B, B&B isn't part of the address. The address is www.celtic-house-bnb.com. That's CELTIC-HOUSE-BANDB. Okay. You want to take the next one?
And it is a beautiful
It is a beautiful
B&B, by the way. We've
had a tour via
We've not
video.
been there, but we've been there virtually.
Yep.
Yeah.
You too?
on YouTube. It's Angela Byrne Kilkenny Song, and that's where you can see her on YouTube.
Okay, Kilkenny, for those of you who are listening that don't know how to spell Kilkenny, it's Kilkenny. Okay, let's see. Now her email, this is important if you want to win a book. Listen up. Her email is angela.celtic@gmail.com. So that's angela.celtic.
Okay. After the commercial break, we will do the book giveaway.
Yeah.
So kind of
okay,
tuck
Angela,
that one away.
Why don't we let you talk for a change? So you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how you started to write or when you decided that you wanted to write, you know, all those things.
Yes, I grew up in the heart of Kilkenny City, not actually in the city, but a little bit out in the sticks. I'm the middle child of 5. I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. I married my husband, John, 51 years ago, and we're still together. So we must be doing something right in that regard.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have, we have 1 daughter, Lisa, and we have 3 sons, JJ, Bobby, and Declan. They were all away at one time. We didn't have any of them here in the house. They're all back now except 1. His son Bobby, he's in Australia. He's home at the moment because of COVID. I bought 2 old houses here in Kilkenny because I thought they would be central to the city, which they are. And my intention was at that time to build a big house and do bed and breakfast. So yes, we came in then from the country. We had a small farm. We sold the farm, and that gave me the money then to buy the 2 old houses, which we demolished completely. And we built then up from the ground the big house we have now. It was a big change for the children coming into Kilkenny City because they had more freedom in the country. They could be out all day. You know, we had a shed with old cars, and they were always, the boys especially, always around, you know, fixing cars, and when they got bigger and doing cars, and always out there. So, but look, we came into town then, into the city, and they weren't happy at all. But then they went to college. One was the year later, and the second dad the year later again. So it didn't really matter. They were gone then, and, you know, through school and through college and all the things they have to do.
Right.
And then, sorry, did you want to ask me something?
No, I was just saying, right?
Okay. So, after 17 years asking my husband to sell the farm, he eventually did. And then we moved in to the Kilkenny City. I was so happy to move in because I was tired of the countryside at this time. I wanted to open a B&B and start working, you know, with, networking maybe with other B&Bs, and you have to do all the groundwork really. You can't just, say, oh, I'm going to open a B&B now. You must network with other B&Bs, and the tourist board here in Ireland, Board Fáilte, you join that, and then you join B&B Ireland. And a lot of things had to be done before you could open. You have an inspection then to see that you have all the guidelines in place for guests to come and stay and keep them safe and keep them healthy and, all the rest. But I did that, and it turned out a great success. I even got into the Lonely Planet book. And will I tell you how they introduced me? They said, Angela Byrne is literally Ireland's goodwill ambassador to the world.
Oh,
wow. How about that? Who knew?
Yeah, it was really I had a task then to live up to that, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
And I do my best, but not everyone is happy. You know what I mean? You do get some, but it was a wonderful thing. It really put me on the map then. And my business grew and grew and grew. So, you know, we were, by 2005 or 6, we had 6 rooms for B&B, and we could keep maybe 14 people. And then it grew and grew. And when my children left home then, I used their rooms to keep people. So, you know, it was amazing, really, all the people you meet from all over the world. And I enjoy it so much because I get to hear many stories. I get to hear, you know, about their families. People come back even from Germany, even from America. We have couples that come back 3 and 4 times over the years. And it's wonderful to welcome them back again. It's absolutely, you know, I get so excited when I know they're coming because I can welcome them in again.
Well,
so,
it sounds like you had a vision and it got a hold of you and wouldn't let you go, right?
Absolutely. There was no stopping me. You know, I really couldn't stop, you know, for anything. Nobody would stop me. Not even John, my husband.
He's hanging right along with you.
He did. He's always by my side, and he agrees with everything I do. So I don't have anything, you know, to work against or work to.
We have a saying in the United States. It's a happy life, happy wife.
Okay. They say that there.
Happy life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Happy wife, happy life.
Oh, that's wonderful.
John
I agree with
that.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
So,
and then my mother passed away. Oh, it's more than 30 years ago now. But she left some things to her sister, Kitty, and she lived in Leicestershire in England. So out of all of us, I was the one detailed to take my mother's stuff over to Aunt Kitty in Leicestershire. And I did, and I flew into Leicester, met her up, and I stayed in her house for a week. And she was happy to receive the gifts, of course, from my mother. And while I was there, she said she had this notebook, this black leather-bound notebook, and she produced it and said, "Come on now, Angela, we're going to write down the family history." At the time, I wasn't really interested in that because I had a week away from my 4 children and my husband. I really wanted to go out and have a look at Leicester, where she lived, and see, you know, go shopping in particular, go to some of the medieval sites or the Viking sites and stuff like that. But no, in the evening then we wrote down all the details. I did, and things that I was shocked about, things that oh my God, I didn't want anyone to know, you know, things in families that happen and maybe nobody talks about it or knows about it. So kept the notebook, went home back to my own home in Kilkenny, put the notebook away and said, "No, I'll deal with that later." But it was many years later that I took out the book, started to go through it, and I said, well, I'll type all this up now, and if my children, you know, want to know anything about my past or my mother's past or whatever, they'll be able to have it. So about 20,000 words into this, I said one day to myself, you know, this could be a book. And then I wrote and wrote, and sometimes 1,000 words in the day, and kept going and going and going until I reached, you know, what I thought was it. So then I got my family to look at it, and while I was writing it, you know, I would put it through my husband and my eldest, the girl who was the oldest, for them to share with me what they thought about it.
Yeah.
So I took their, advice on board, and some of the things and some not. And then I realized I really have to have this edited with a professional editor. So yes, I did that. And then I set about looking for a publisher. It's difficult in Ireland to get a publisher because they won't put any money behind you. Maybe if it was your second or third book, they may do. But I did. I managed to get a publisher in Dublin, and the name of the publisher were New Ireland Press. And they took the book. God, that day I just nearly collapsed with excitement because now I have the publisher. And, I thought myself, this is it now, because most people told me, no, you won't get a publisher, you'll never get one. I think Lady Luck was shining on me because I did. They took the book and I launched it in Kilkenny. I launched it in San Diego, in Bay Books in San Diego. It's at the beach there. Maybe you may not know that now, but
No.
a lovely old lady owned the bookshop. So we had a wonderful evening there in San Diego.
Was that Not Forgotten?
Yes, the first book, Not Forgotten.
Okay, let's put that up so people can see it. Here it is, Not Forgotten, the story of an extraordinary Irish woman by Angela Byrne. So this is the first book that Angela wrote, and this is what she's talking about, how this came to be. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was on television, on St. Patrick's Day, and I had my book, and I was able to, talk to the television station about my book and about Ireland and how we celebrate St. Patrick's Day back in Ireland. And a lovely, how would I say, rendition maybe of the Irish and how we celebrate, and especially around St. Patrick's Day, I think everybody wants to be Irish.
Yeah, in America, that's true. But my grandfather always said, everybody wants to be Irish,
Yeah.
He used to say there are two kinds of people in the world, those that are Irish and those that wish they were.
Okay, I love that one. I love it. I love it. I really do.
Yeah.
So,
He used to bring me to the bar and stand me up on the counter when I was little.
Yeah.
And have me sing "Oh Danny Boy."
Is that why you still do that?
I don't do that.
Oh,
anymore.
no.
Isn't that awful? And when Irish eyes are smiling, that was his other favorite one.
Yeah. Can you sing a little bit of that for me?
No.
No.
When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like the morning dew, and the lilt of Irish laughter. Okay.
Thank you. Excuse me.
I bet you never had that before.
No, can't say as we have we?
No.
No.
No, but it was
but
good.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Can you tell us a little bit about what, and I'm going to put this up again. Oops, I almost lost it. Can you tell us a little bit about the story without giving anything away about what Not Forgotten is about?
Yes, I can. That the book is mostly true, even though it says fiction, because I have to protect the people I'm talking about or writing about. And it goes back to the 1920s and maybe earlier than that. And it ends around 1952. And it is a family that lived in Ireland and how it was way back then to live, to educate your children, to the people that lost their husbands, women, maybe with 6 or 7 children, and their husband went away to work and never returned. That was my case in my family with my mother's father. He left and he never came back. So my grandmother spent all her life looking for him. even she had the Canadian Mounted Police looking for him, the Salvation Army. But, you know, he didn't want to be found because he didn't want to go back home. He actually married another woman and had another family.
Oh my!
Without ever getting a divorce?
No, sure. He said he was a bachelor.
Wow.
Now Kitty was the woman with all, you know, the knowledge of all of that. My Aunt Kitty, and she set about trying to find her father years later. And she came to where she knew where he went first, Canada. He was the eldest of 11 children. And he went to Canada with his parents and his 10 siblings. And they went to start a new life. And my grandfather had 6 children, one being my mother. And he promised he'd come back and, you know, when he'd earn enough money and bring them to Canada. But that wasn't, he told my grandmother that, but he did not ever intend to come back.
So your grandfather went with his whole family, his extended family, and left his family in Ireland.
Yes.
Wow. You know, your family history sounds so much like mine. Like my grandmother was one of 12. You know, that's the way we do it, the Irish.
I know.
We have 6.
You must leave the DNA.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's amazing. That's so sad for your grandmother. God
yes,
bless her.
It's awful because
it is terrible.
Yeah, Kitty was always very angry, you know, about her father, and she married twice. Her first husband, she got a divorce. Her second husband was from Leicestershire in England. He was the postmaster, and she worked for him. And then they developed a relationship, and they got married. He was a very wealthy man, and he took Kitty back to Canada. There's lots of relations still there. So, but nobody knew, they said, where her father was. Nobody, even though he was their brother and their, you know, sisters, they all maintained that they didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she went back then to Leicestershire with her husband, and then one of the youngest member of the family, John, wrote to her and told her that if she tried Chicago, she may find her father there. So then she set out then to go to Chicago. And who helped her? Only Mayor Daley. You might have remembered him.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we lived in Cook County.
Yeah, we lived in Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah. Yeah. And I worked in polling, in the Cook County polling when Mayor Daley was mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
I thought it's so crazy.
Can't believe it.
No, was he a Fitzgerald, your grandfather?
No, he's son. He's, that's okay.
Maybe we don't want to say the name.
Yeah,
we'll
that's
talk
okay.
after the show.
So anyway, she came back the second time then to Chicago, and Mayor Daley said he wasn't sure, but he thought this was where her dad lived.
Oh,
so he gave her the address and all that kind of thing. So,
do you remember what city that was that he was living in?
I think it was. Do you know? I don't remember now at this point. But anyhow, she went again then, and with her husband and wealthy husband, and she was sure now that she had his address. So one evening, she decided that she would head down to his house and knock on the door. which she did. And when the door opened, it was a woman. And the woman walked out of the house, and Kitty walked in. And when she walked in, she met her father sitting in a wheelchair. And do you know what he said to her? Don't start shouting now, or the neighbors will hear you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I bet she started shouting. I would have said, you want to hear shout?
You would have brought a megaphone.
I would have. The next county over, Dad, they're going to hear you. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Yeah.
that just is. You guys, you have to buy these books. I mean, this is crazy, and it's real life.
You can't make this stuff
now,
up.
did this all happen in book 1?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Oh
yes.
People buy the book. I'm getting your book.
Okay.
And then the next one we have is Miss Fitzgerald. And who is this about?
Now, I loved writing that book. You see, I had a hang of the writing now from the first book.
Yeah.
Miss Fitzgerald is an ancestor of mine. She was born in 1870, and she's the same Fitzgerald as JFK's mother.
Oh,
okay.
You see, JFK was John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Yes.
Right.
So there's
from Boston.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a place on the Cape. My sister still has a place on Cape Cod.
Oh,
right near the Kennedy compound.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So so she Miss Fitzgerald was a young woman. Her father was very old because he had married for the second time. They had a farm in County Limerick, in Cork called Bruff, Bruff. And as I said, she was born in 1870. So I found out about her through DNA and through Ancestry.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that made the connections between the Kennedys and the Fitzgeralds, and a lot of things went on there, finding things and making sure they were correct, and everything. Anyway, she left Ireland when she was only 20 years old, and she wanted to go to Africa, South Africa in particular. So she left her home. She was 20. Her father was old. Her mother was dead. Her brothers had gone to marry into other farmlands. So she left anyway on the ship from Queenstown. It's called Kinsale now, but it was Queenstown when Ireland was governed by England and the Queen of England. So she left, and it took, firstly, you leave from Cove, Kinsale, you sail to England first, and then you get another boat on to South Africa. And that took about 6 weeks on board this boat, which there were many people leaving Ireland at the time. Many people were, starving because they had no food. Maybe their friends or relatives would have sent them money for the ticket to get there. It was just, I don't know how this woman ever made it to South Africa, but she did. And it's a real women's book, if you know what I mean. It's the strong power of women who can succeed at anything they want to do. And she was that woman. She was. She got to Cape Town, where eventually she opened her own hotel. It's called the Royal Hotel. And she never married. I was in South Africa. I saw that hotel. I walked along that street, but I did not know at the time that it was my ancestor who built this hotel and left it to the African government, which
That's
passed.
Wow.
amazing. I
That
think we'll stop you right there because we need to take a station break,
Right.
a little commercial.
When we come back, we'll do your book giveaway, and we'll talk about book number
three.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody
Stay tuned, folks.
stay
This
tuned.
is so fascinating.
This is
I am
really
having the
cool.
time of my life. Just
Okay.
hold on.
Hang
We'll be
on.
right back.
Got some good commercials coming up too.
Yeah. New commercials.
Dear Lord, she's still alive.
Who's still alive?
Maris, that's who.
Come on, Angie, that's impossible.
Impossible or not, she's still alive, I tell you. She killed that boatload of people, and she's just getting started. There's no limit to what she will do.
It's not easy to kill a siren. It takes a formula and a plan. Siren Song 2 is the spellbinding sequel to Siren Song. Both novels by George Dismukes.
Siren Song 2 will be on bookshelves and bookseller websites in July. Don't miss it.
People who like to read want to get their hands on books by Becca Jones.
Becca Jones, the breakthrough author who tells it like it is. It takes courage to tell a story when it reveals dark secrets. Becca Jones delves deep into the hidden world of sexual abuse. She tells what happened and also tells how she survived.
Meant to Be is much more than just entertaining. Meant to Be gives you a point of reference, hope to cling to, and becomes a guide for survival if you have suffered the same thing. Meant to Be, Becca Jones, a must-have.
Meant to Be is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and many other bookseller websites. Many secrets are hidden within the darkness of the jungle. Behold, this one about a man, a woman, a black jaguar, and an ancient Maya legend. Two Faces of the Jaguar is a novel by George Dismukes that will take you deep into the jungle and capture your imagination until the last word. Two Faces of the Jaguar is book 1 of a trilogy. Two Faces of the Jaguar, where only the adventurous dare to read.
Two Faces of the Jaguar, The Lost City, and The Jaguar's Quest are available on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and many other bookseller websites. Two Faces of the Jaguar, the book people are talking about. Get your copy today.
Hello.
We're back.
Whew. Well, this is so exciting.
Look, so my third book, Homeward, is the last book in the trilogy, the third book in the trilogy. So
Before we talk about that, I forgot. I'm falling asleep here on the job. Let's announce the book giveaway so people will have time to enter before the end of the show.
We're not falling asleep. We're so interested in what
No,
Angela's saying.
on
We're
the
forgetting
job.
everything else.
I'm so concentrating on this that I'm not doing my job. Here's the
You're
book
okay.
giveaway, everybody. The first 5 people to email angela.celtic@gmail.com will win an ebook copy of choice.
So get cracking, people.
Get cracking. And now,
Start typing.
sorry that we interrupted you. We're going to talk about Homeward.
Go ahead.
With Homeward, I had, so much to say about the other 2 books and the families in there, in the books, that I really enjoyed writing this too, because it kind of binds together everything that went on in the other 2 books, and it finalizes the story, really, because when Miss Fitzgerald moved to South Africa, when she built her hotel and made a real go of it, she had people at her feet there. Although the African government did not like a woman in that position that she was in. Women, were to take a back step, and they were not to be forward. But she managed somehow to do that. Did it for years, until one evening she always lit a little fire in the sitting room in the hotel. Even though it's warm there, she felt, it was like homely to have this fire. And then she called her secretary and she asked her, how many guests have we tonight, and who are they, and where are they from, and anyone of note that she should think about. So Geraldine, her secretary, said, well, no, I'll take the book now and I'll check. So she came back with the book, and here the last person checked in, his name was Fitzgerald, and his name was Francis Fitzgerald. So she and he was from Boston. And what happened was, she had 2 brothers who she was much younger than, and didn't really know, excuse me, of them. They had emigrated to Boston, and this man, Francis Fitzgerald, he was one of their sons. He didn't know anything about Miss Fitzgerald, because his father didn't know about Miss Fitzgerald, because they were left home long before the father had another child, and she couldn't wait to meet him. She was sitting at the fire and she was thinking, could it be my 2 half-brothers? And then all of a sudden this man said, excuse me, ma'am, do you mind if I sit and join you? And she said, oh no, please come on, sit down beside me here. I love the company. And he was enthralled with her, how she spoke, how she managed the hotel, how she lived her life. And went on from there for a few nights. He was there, he explained to her, on behalf of his father and his other investors. They were wanting to invest in the Kimberley gold mines at the time, and he was there to check it out and see, is it authentic, or what, is it okay, like. So she said, he told Miss Fitzgerald what he was doing there. He said he was going to make investments, and she said, maybe you might run that through me first, she said, because I have inside knowledge of all those gold mines and, all the rest of it. And he was really taken aback by that, because, he thought he was the whiz kid coming to Africa, and, he didn't really know the ways of the African people and how they can work and how they can play and all that kind of thing. So then that night she stayed awake all night thinking about this man, and she said to herself, I'm going to ask him tomorrow, is his father Edward, or whatever. So she couldn't wait for breakfast to come to meet this man again, Francis Fitzgerald, and she sat at the table with him. First they just chitted and chatted about, it's so hot here, and all the local things. So she said to him then, would your father be, Edward, or I can't remember the name now, and he said, no, that's my uncle, but there are, he said, in the family. And then she said her two half brothers, she said their names. And he said, how do you know their names? And she explained to him then that she was born in Bruff, County Limerick. Her father married a second time when he was old, and she was born. And he couldn't believe it. Are you really related to me? And she said, yes, I'm your step aunt. Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Walking down the streets in Cape Town. And, this man comes in then, way back then. And they talked and talked and talked for hours and hours. And she remembered stuff from her childhood. And he had often heard things from his father's childhood too. And it seemed to gel together, perfectly. And then, he didn't go away after 2 weeks. He stayed for a couple of months. And she asked him if she left the hotel to him, would he keep it, would he keep the hotel going? So a few days he made up his mind, and he said, no, I need to get back to Boston, and my family, and his brother. So in the end, anyway, Miss Fitzgerald lived to be very old, and she died peacefully and left all that to the South African government.
Wow.
She left all her money and everything. Yeah.
Wow.
So who was he to JFK? Was he Rose's? Was he his mother's grandfather? Father or?
Yeah, the Fitzgeralds come from the line of Fitzgeralds that are in Bruff, and then some of them moved to Wexford. Mm-hmm. So it's those Fitzgerald that I connect with. That's JFK's mother.
That would be his mother, because she was the Fitzgerald. So I wonder if it was like her father, or it would have been her father or her uncle.
Right, should have been.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
her
or maybe go back another parenthood. Like great or whatever.
Right, another generation.
Yeah,
I don't think it'd go back that far. Right?
Because
what year are we talking about that he was in South Africa?
Early 1900.
Yeah, see, because my grandparents were born in the 1800s. So, and Rose Kennedy was older than I am even. So it wouldn't have to have been her, direct.
Yeah. I think her father would have been Honey Fitzgerald. Honey, they called him.
Yeah. Honey Fitzgerald.
And then his father would be connected to me all the way down along the line.
Yeah. So maybe it was just like a cousin of her or something.
I have proof of it. So I don't know what to do with it, if you know what I mean. If anyone has any suggestions.
Well, you've done it. You put it out there. You've really helped.
She means like in her head. She doesn't know what to think about it. It's like, really?
That's
like
amazing.
How did that happen? And just to think, it all came from Kitty.
Yeah, and my mother, when JFK died, 1963.
Yeah.
I think I was maybe 12, 13 then. When he was shot and killed in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Everybody knew where they were really on that day. If you say, when you get the word of the president being killed, or, he was special. JFK was special. I think he was. Yeah, I think, anyway. Everybody would remember where they were. So my mother said to me and my two younger sisters, we could be related to him. And I said, to JFK? And she said, yes. And I looked at my sisters and they looked at me, and we didn't think, is this for real? Is she sure about this? So we went off and sure we didn't believe her at all. And then when you're young, you see, you don't really, you think that's, how would I say now? You would think that was like too much to be.
Wishful thinking, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So not to change the subject or anything, but I did want to make sure we had some time. You also are an artist.
Yes, I
Would you like to
paint.
talk about your paintings?
I would. I'd love to talk about my paintings. I want to tell you first, though, about the writing. I never knew I could write. I never knew. I was 60 years old when I found I could write. 60 years old. So, I want your viewers and your listeners to know, never give up. Never. Always try the new thing, because it's achievement for you. And I think, you live longer when you're doing something and your brain is being stretched to the limit to remember things or do new things in particular.
Yeah.
Right.
I used to be afraid of computers. Oh my God. For a long time, I didn't know how to work it properly, but I'm okay now. But when I was 50 years old, my children bought me an easel and some canvas and brushes, because I always wanted to do it, but never had the time. And anyway, that's what they gave me for my 50th birthday. So I had all these brushes, these paints, canvas, easel, everything. So I went and I did classes for a month and found I had it. I could do it. So I have many paintings in walls in America somewhere, in private collectors I have in England and Germany, and some in Italy, and of course I have some here at home. Loads of them. I still keep painting every day.
Is there anywhere that people can go to see them, or not yet?
No, that's something that's my next task to do.
Yeah.
To get them
website for your paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must tell you, in the morning when I get up out of bed after having a nice good night's sleep, I write, because I find in the morning that your mind is fresher and you don't have too much of a clutter in your head now. You're clear of it all and you slept good, and you can write then. I can. And I hope that helps other people too. And in the evening I paint because it brings me down. I paint and it's quiet, and it makes you feel how would I say, makes you feel at one with everything. And
So,
you're ready.
Are you working on a new project? Is there a book that we should be looking forward to?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, please. I have finished the 4th book.
Oh, great.
Yeah, but it's not ready to publish yet.
Okay.
It needs to be edited and it needs to be, tightened up and all that kind of thing.
Do you
and
have
it's
a
really,
working title?
no, not yet. It's a
So-
COVID book.
Oh, great.
I was at my husband's brother passed away, and he was very, very ill. Thank you. And there was a lot of meeting a lot of relatives there over the last few days, and I've lost the train of thought now.
Yeah, about your COVID book and
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I met younger age groups, say 30, 40, and 2 of them have a COVID baby. Two families, 2 different COVID babies. And my own son has a COVID baby. My youngest son, Declan, he has a COVID baby, and his name is Billy. And his brother is Henry. They live beside me. Isn't that wonderful?
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah. He's a police officer here in Ireland. And yeah, he's on the front line, and tough. It's tough going these days for him. For the last year and a half, really. Yeah.
We just found out this morning that in the United States this year, more officers have died from COVID than anything else. We had 486 officers die in the line of duty, police officers in the United States, and 301 of them had COVID. They died from COVID.
Bless them. Bless them.
Yeah, God bless all our frontline workers.
Yeah. My son he's early 30s. He's 35. And they give them these very long hours to work, you know.
Yeah.
You work 12 hours for Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday, you do nights for 12 hours. So they have 4 days off. But the 4 days off, 2 of the days, he's too tired to do anything, you know. And then he's back to work again.
Yeah.
It's a difficult life, you know. It's not an easy life at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's safe.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's safe.
That is good. Yeah.
And that he had a COVID baby. No, it must have been scary for them to have a baby born in the middle of all of that, you know.
I know. And they didn't tell us until they were about 6 months pregnant.
Yeah. Probably didn't want to worry you.
Yeah.
That's really something.
Yeah. So as soon as you get a link from Amazon, you're going to put it on Amazon, right? Your new book?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. As soon as you get your link and let us know, and we'll put it onto indiebooksource.com onto your page. And people can, if people just watch that, and they can watch your website as well. I'm sure you'll put it on there, right?
I will.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that'll be great. Something to look forward to.
Yeah. So email Angela to get the updates on when the book is coming out. And
right.
Go to her website and find out what else is going on. And we'll be looking for, you know, we already gave you the address for the website for the B&B. And if anyone's planning a trip to Ireland, you know where you can stay.
Yeah, it's lovely.
You can stay with Angela. She'll sing to you.
Angela will sing
to you, and you'll see her paintings, and
she'll bring you coffee in the morning and sing to you.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. Breakfast in bed.
Maybe even read you a chapter of the book.
I know.
Yeah.
Or they'll have to bring the book and get it signed.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what they need to do.
Oh, yes. That's so true. Yeah, there's a few messages maybe on the Goodreads or on the Facebook book where one woman said she was reading my book, she had bought it, and now she was coming to stay.
Good.
And she did. Yeah, and she did.
That's great.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
And I don't blame her a bit.
Yeah, it's lovely when that happens.
It's a fascinating story, your family history. I mean, it's sad, it's tragic, and it's hopeful and successful. It has all of those things, you know what I mean?
I do.
All the things. So
yes.
Amazing.
Do you know what? I really want my first book, Not Forgotten, to be in a film.
Yeah.
Because I think it would make a really good film.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it has.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it has all the drama you need. Yeah.
Real life stuff. Yeah.
I really would have liked to have been there with your Aunt Kitty when she faced her father.
She was a character.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. And she when she done it. Are we chatting now after the podcast?
No, we're still on the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when we're going off.
Yeah, no,
won't be long now. We're almost ready.
We're almost to the end. But
I'm no hurry. I'm in no hurry at all for me.
Yeah.
Just tell me when you want.
Right. Yes. We'll tell you when we're gonna go to commercial and stuff.
A couple more minutes.
Yeah. We have a few more minutes live with you on the podcast. Well, you just broke up. We didn't hear the last thing you said.
Okay.
Oh.
We're okay.
All right.
Okay.
Are we?
Yep.
Yep.
No.
Can you hear us?
Okay. Yes, now I can.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Well, maybe we should go ahead and wrap things up then.
Yeah.
And since we're having a little trouble now.
You stand by, and we will talk to you as soon as we finish the podcast. We're going to
Right.
push you
Stay
over
right
to
where
the
you're at.
side.
I'm going to push you over.
There you
I
go.
will.
There you go.
Wait right there.
Wait right
Don't
there.
leave. Wait through all the commercials. We'll be
I will.
talk to you.
Don't leave. Couple
I need
things.
to find out some more things about the Chicago visit.
There you go. Thank you so much for joining us, Angela. Thanks everybody for staying tuned, and
Yes.
hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Email her,
Right.
visit her.
A little
Buy
thing
her
about
books.
go to indiebooksource.com, click on the store. You can see products like this one. This is one of our newer ones. If you're a writer, that's
A
probably
good
not
gift.
probably not what you use, but maybe you do.
No.
I don't know. February 9th, we have James Schnitzowski. I'm sorry, James.
Sorry,
I always mess up your name. February 16th, we have Larry Yoke. And February 23rd is our first anniversary.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. It's an anniversary show, and we have several authors and several giveaways all at the same time.
It's going to be a big show.
It's going to be a big show.
You
It's
don't
going
want
to
to
be
miss
fun.
it. It's going to be a fun show.
Don't miss it.
We know these authors. They're going to be fun.
Right.
A lot of fun.
I guess until next time.
That's all, folks.
Thank you for joining us here on Meet the Author. Make sure you stay up to date with our show by clicking like, follow, and share. And you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and more. See you next time on WLFE-DB.com.
You've been listening to WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows.